Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tribe of Leaders podcast. I'm your host, Emmy Kirshner. And on today's show, I sit with Jacquelyn Gioertz. She is the founder and CEO of Awakening Women and an avid student of the universal laws and energy healer. She strives to inspire and empower all people to embrace their uniqueness and discover their strengths to create the life they love and deserve. And we had a really fun time. Jacquelyn, when we were talking, shared her process for manifesting and creating exactly what it is that you want to have in your life. It's fascinating and it's a lot easier to do than you think. So check it out. My name is Emmy Kirshner. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. The one thing that I get asked all the time is, how do you achieve success in business and make an impact? In each episode of the Tribe of Leaders podcast, you'll hear from entrepreneurs and visionaries who share how their leadership has changed not only their lives, but the lives of everybody around them. Jacquelyn, I am so excited to have you on the show today. You know, we have known each other for, I think, like 3 years at least. We've been, kind of co-conspiring as we've been growing our businesses together. And I love the magic that you create. So share with everybody who's listening, right, a little bit about who you are and your background.
Oh, thank you so much. And Emmy, yes, I love that I'm on your show today. So thank you so much for having me. And I love that we've been able to collaborate, like you say, for a couple of years now. So it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, the magic. So I believe that, so let me give you a quote from Einstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
The most prolific scientists of our time, right? One of the most prominent scientists of our time. He said, there are only two ways to live your life. One is as if nothing is a miracle, and the other is as if everything is a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the magic comes in. That's what I do, is I teach, people actually pay me to teach them how to live as if everything is a miracle. Right? So it's all about tapping into those unseen forces, that magic of the universe. How do you actually use that in your everyday life?
Right. And how do you do that? Like, how did you, share your backstory a little bit? Like, how did you discover that everything was a miracle and that you can help people create amazing lives and really step into their leadership role by seeing the miracles?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Thank you. So there's a couple of times in my life where I was like, something's got to change, right? We all have those dark nights of the soul kind of thing, right? And for me, the most recent one was when I found myself living in this tiny, nasty little cottage, no AC, in the middle of a hot, sweaty Florida night. And I had no car. I had been laid off from my job. My family had all moved to other parts of the country. And it was like, oh my God, how did I get here? How did I get here? And as I'm staring at that ceiling fan going around, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to pretend that's an ocean breeze, right?
Yeah.
Right? Visualize, right? And I thought, oh my God, how the hell did I get here? What happened, right? And it was in that moment that I realized I had spent so much of my time and energy making other people's dreams come true that I had completely forgotten about what it is I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it was in that moment that I thought, you know what, all of these tools I have, I know how it works. I do it for other people all the time. And that's when I decided to start working on my own stuff, right? And start creating for myself. And that's when I got certified as a life coach. I wrote my book and I started my business. So it really was from that moment of being at the bottom of thinking, I've done it for other people. Why can't I do it for myself? And that's when I really took the
in typical fashion, as a caretaker, you made sure everybody else was creating their dreams and you forgot to create your own.
Absolutely. And that is really the point. Because if you don't focus your energy and your thoughts on what it is you want, somebody else will.
Right.
They're going to take whatever you put out and use it for their own. If you don't use, you've got to take control of your own life.
So for somebody who maybe isn't in that spot, but it's like, I know there's so much more out there for me, right? And I can feel it, but I don't know what to do or what to think. What's a step that they can start to take, like right now, to start seeing at least something, kind of put into action?
Yeah, great starting point. Because a lot of people are at that point. It's like, I know there's something. I know there's more than what I'm currently getting and currently doing. What could it be, right? So the first thing is, the point of power is always in the now. You can't change yesterday. You can change tomorrow by what you're doing, thinking, saying right here, right now. So the first thing is to take 3 deep breaths, close your eyes and get present. Be in the present moment. And it only takes 3 deep breaths. Really, that's all it is. If you close your eyes and breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, you're going to sink into your body. You're going to be in the now. When you get there, now you have a point of power that you can start focusing on what it is you want to create in your life. A lot of people don't know what they want, though, but everybody knows what they don't want.
Yeah.
Right? We all know what it is we don't want. So that's where you can get the clarity through the contrast of it, because you can look at what it is you don't want, take the opposite of that. Is that what you want? If not, keep tweaking it. So, for example, when I used to live in Germany, when I was moving back to the States, I could move anywhere in the world. All I knew was that I didn't want cold, snowy mountains. Didn't want cold, snowy mountains.
I'm good with that.
Right? So what's the opposite of that? Hot tropical island.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I thought, okay, hot tropical island, something like Hawaii and, something like that. But then I thought, wait a minute, I like to take road trips. Can't you just see me on an island? Left turn, left turn, left turn.
I'm circled. I'm circled.
Here we go again. Hi, as you're going by. So island wasn't the thing for me, right? So you keep tweaking it, and that's how I wound up in Florida. Hot, tropical, hey, it's mainland, it's still, I can still take road trips. But do you see what I mean? You start with the contrast. What do you know you don't want? And it works in any area. Flip it to the opposite, and then just keep tweaking. Just keep tweaking until you know what it is you want.
Yeah, I think this is so powerful because, as you know, I'm all about clarity and having lists and plans. But when you start thinking about I know there's this bigger thing and I don't know what I want, and you can start eliminating stuff, then you can really, as you're kind of honing down and maybe that second or third level into creating what you want, and new things will pop up for you that you hadn't even thought of.
Right. And that's really where the magic starts happening, because there's 2 things. Once you start going down that road of okay, this could be it. And like you say, you start to tweak it, other ideas come. Then you want to start saying things like, I wonder, or what if? Because those are phrases that will open up your creativity and tap you into the unseen. And you'll get ideas of, so if you say, well, I wonder what that could look like. I don't want to have this or this. I wonder what that would look like. You're going to get new ideas, and you're going to be able to dream bigger. And that's where you tap into that consciousness, that collective consciousness, and that all-knowing, that you can really, really use it, and it'll come through you when you're present.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. So what else can people do to help kind of start creating the vision with more clarity? I know people, with my clients at least, and you probably experience this too, they know they have this big thing in front of them and they know they're ready to do it, but they're I don't know, what are the 6 million options?
Yeah. So like you said, clarity is always key, right?
Right.
So you have to have a starting point. And that's really where when you start talking about the what ifs or the I wonders, and things will come to you. If it lights you up, if it makes you excited, that's the thing you want to go for, right? Because again, your body responds to your truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it lights you up, if it excites you, you really want to do it, then that's something you want to focus on. And that's where you want to kind of direct your energy. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to have a starting point. And it's kind of like when if you're going downstairs in the dark and you have a flashlight, you can only see 1 or 2 steps in front of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing as when you start manifesting, you're not going to see the whole picture. You want to focus on the end result. You want to focus on the destination of where you're headed, but you're not going to know all the steps in between. But the universe will bring you those next steps. You'll get it. You'll get it as you go along, because you have to be in motion. You have to be in motion in order to get those next steps. The other piece of that is if it excites you, that's where you want to focus. And a lot of people will confuse fear with excitement.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And really it's just an expectation. So fear is this feeling in your body with a negative expectation. Excitement is the same feeling in the body with a positive expectation.
Yeah.
So
and I've read too, like athletes use that fear to their benefit. Like they remind their brain, because your brain doesn't really know the difference.
yes.
So if you can start shifting it, do you have a process for that, or?
To shift it, really, it's the what ifs that work for me and for my clients very well. Because when you're afraid, there's usually a challenge that's coming up in your mind. You're going, oh my God, what if this happens? What if that is, what if this,
Right.
The fear piece. So you want to flip that. Well, what if it's amazing? What if it turns out so much better than I thought? You just have to really flip it, because again, the brain doesn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And the brain will look for proof for whatever you tell it.
Well, and aren't we wired for? Because it seems to me like we naturally go towards the negative instead of,
yeah. That's a hard wiring in our brains to always look for what's negative. And that's based on, back in the day when we had to look out for, saber-toothed tigers and stuff, right? It's like you're always looking for what's wrong here, what's out of place, right? So it's a conscious effort to look for the positive. But I find that the statements, what if, will shift that to the other side, and you can start looking for proof. Your brain will bring you proof. So if you say, for example, all dogs are mean, your brain is going to go look for proof.
Right.
When I was 3, a dog growled at me. All dogs are mean. You can also say all dogs are wonderful. And your brain's going to go, oh yeah, when I was 10, a dog licked my face. All dogs are wonderful. So your brain is going to find proof for whatever you tell it. So it's important that you flip that script. What if it's amazing? There are moments when I was amazing.
Right.
Right? I've done things that were amazing. What if it turns out better than I ever expected? Your brain's going to go, oh, yeah. There was that time. It turned out way better than we ever expected. Do you see? So it's really tapping into that. And that's also the law of attraction. That's also how energy works, because now like attracts like. If you will consciously hold that thought, the universe is going to bring you more thoughts like that. And then you get the momentum going. Then the energy is really going.
Right. So, like, if you're experiencing, because I know for me at least, I'm going kind of back to the, like, seeing the 2 stairs analogy. Like, while I'm like psyched, I can see the 2 stairs, the like what's next part can really make you feel, uncomfortable too. So if you're doing the what's next, and you're continuing to almost look for it, right? Then as you're looking for that 3rd stair that you can't quite see, shifting into you and feeling more excited or more ease or less stress, or can be is beneficial, right?
Right. Your expectation is what you're going to create. There's another piece of this, though, that is, for me, it's a key component. And that is, you have to have faith in the universe. You have to believe the universe has got your back. I'm a firm believer the universe is a friendly universe, right? So it's got your back. And what you're looking for, what you're yearning for and searching for, is also searching for you. That's the law of attraction and effect. And the universe wants to express itself through you. The universe wants you to be successful. So even though you can't see that 3rd or 4th step, if you can have the faith and the belief that you are a co-creator and it's a friendly universe, and what you're looking for is looking for you, and it's drawing together, you come at it with a very, very different expectation, and therefore a very, very different outcome.
Right. Right. So it's almost like going down those stairs in the dark with the flashlight, and they've always been there in the light, so they're there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So they're there. You're just not sure where to push next, right? Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. I love the way that once you get to the idea that you're a God spark, and I say God spark because I believe everybody is connected to source energy, and we have source energy within us, and source energy is created, right? So you become this co-creator of your life. And when you tap into that for real, now you're stepping into a leadership that is a very confident leadership energy, that because you can create. And it might not look the way you thought it would. It could look totally different. But the end result is going to be what you wanted. The end result is going to be this or something even better.
Well, and as your energy level is kind of raising, right, then you're more likely to attract the people just naturally who will either be your followers or who can help you to the next place, or...
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's part of the universe being a friendly universe, because when you start I'm going to go back to, I'm going to put visualizing in there as well, because that's a really big piece of it. When you're visualizing those stairs, you're going down the steps, right? You've seen them by daylight, so you already have a picture of what they look like. And even if you don't know what that path looks like, all you have to do is focus on the end result. You focus on what does the end result feel like. Not only look like, but feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Is the heart, and I mean, there's science behind this now. There are cells in your heart that are intelligent cells like brain cells, right? And so we actually think with our heart as well as with our brain. And the heart has a huge magnetic field, way, way more powerful than the brain. So when we really get into feeling what it is we want, now we're attracting at a huge, huge level, way different than just visualizing. So now you put the two together and it's like rocket fuel. It's amazing what you can call in. When heart and brain are aligned, that's when you manifest bam.
Right.
And the brain, here's where the visualization comes in. Sorry, I knew you were going to say something. Can I just add a piece?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Your imagination will always override your logic.
Okay.
So when you visualize, you have to use your imagination. You have to really, really imagine it. And the reason I say that is like for example, if you're standing in a skyscraper and there's a glass wall and you go to stand to the edge and look down and you're, 50 stories up or something, right?
Right.
And even though that glass is probably a foot thick, your brain, your imagination is going to go, oh, step back. It could be dangerous. And your logic is going, no, there's no way I'm going through that glass. That's a foot of glass. I'm safe. And your imagination is going, no.
Oh, no, my imagination comes with the whole experience.
Right? Like, why am I here on this, standing here at the beginning?
Oh, dizzy.
Yeah. So your imagination is way, way more powerful than your logic, and you can use it to your advantage by visualizing what it is you desire.
Right.
When you get that and you start visualizing that, when you feel that, that's when you really line it up. That's when it happens really quickly.
I love that, and that's so helpful. So thank you so much for sharing, because I think like taking the trust part of the universe has your back, and the next stair is there, is challenging. But once you kind of start playing with it, and if people approach it as play,
yes,
you can really make it fun. But I think the visualizing too just locks in, like you can put colors and feel and like everything in, even if you don't have a clear, like this is the way my business looks, or this is the way my next 3 years look.
Right.
Pull in different things.
You're going to go for what you feel. What are you going to feel in that business?
Yeah. And then just raising the energy level of that. I always say too, because somebody that I met when the boys were like teeny tiny infants had said to me and our mother's group, your children will always rise and fall to your expectations.
True.
And that has stayed with me forever. And I've laughed because it really has worked out that way, not only with my kids, but with my clients, with my colleagues, friends, whatever. And every time my expectation, not even of them, but just of myself changes, they either come with me or they kind of disappear off.
Yeah.
And there's nothing spoken ever.
Right. It's a frequency issue.
Yeah. It's not like I sat down with my kids and was like, all right, we're going to really work on getting straight A's at school. Yeah. I just changed how I've reacted to certain situations. And then they naturally just came with.
Yeah. And it's a combination of reacting, like on a physical level, that we're reacting. It's also your energy, what you're putting out there, because when you're, whatever you're thinking and whatever you're feeling, that's the energy, the vibration you're putting out there. So that's why it doesn't even have to be spoken or even acknowledged, because it's an energy thing. People are always reading energy.
Yeah.
And they don't even know it. Right?
And I've seen my clients have, an upset in one of their relationships, whether it was work or personal, and same thing as they were doing the work on themselves, whatever relationship that was experiencing upset, would change also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I liked what you said before about making it a game.
Yeah.
When you start playing with it and making it a game, that also raises your vibration. Because play is a high vibration, fun is a high vibration. So you're going to accomplish way more by making a game of something than by powering through it. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to power through it. I'm focused, right? Energy.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, for me, at least, like, I want to have fun most of the time, but the way we've talked about this, the way I was raised was like, you're going to power through this and get it done. And there's been a whole shift with that.
Yeah.
And like, why would you want to have that negative experience when you can really step into the creativity and the fun piece of it and still do the same work?
Yeah, and get more done and have more fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you look at like, especially artists and musicians and things like that. And I'm not either of those, but when I look at people that are, they get in the zone, right? They have this creative zone, and time just stands still, right? They can go for hours and hours and hours and not feel fatigued and not, you know, they're just loving it. They're in the zone. And in that, so there's two pieces of that. One, time kind of stands still, so they get a ton of stuff done in a very short time frame. And at the same time, they can go, you know, 24 hours and never feel fatigued. So, I mean, it's really an amazing thing when you find that zone and when you're in that creativity, when, you have that, when you're in the flow of it. It's
right.
So, you know, time no longer is an issue.
Right.
It no longer plays a role.
Yeah. And I think that's what's been so phenomenal, at least for me, and I think for you, is that we're in that constant play of, and just taking more in, like, oh, I'm doing this and now this is happening. And I would encourage everybody who's listening to really start thinking about that. Like, how are you showing up?
Yeah.
Because from a leadership perspective, if you're showing up in play, the ripple effect that you can have, right? That's huge.
It is huge. It is huge. And that's how people are going to play with you then.
Yeah.
Right? You're showing up. And then, you know, can't you just imagine if we're all playing and creating amazing things and having a super, super big impact in the world and creating lots of wealth for everybody? And, oh my God, everybody reaching their highest potential? It's like, yes, that ripple effect, please.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. This has been really, really cool. And I'm so excited that we've had time to hang out together and chat, because I really, I mean, I believe this, you know that, but I really want people to show up and to have a good time and enjoy, I mean, even the things that are kind of, you know, a challenge. Like we were, you know, talking before we started recording, you know, my son had a surgery, your husband's having some back stuff, and it's taken a lot of time, but like life is still really good for both of us because we've chosen that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's another piece that, you know, I work with clients too, that I really, really want them to hone in on, is that even the challenges, even the things that you go, oh my God, how could this possibly be anything positive? There's always a gift. There's always, always, always a gift in it. So even when you're in the middle of it and you're thinking, oh my God, this is just so horrible and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If you can have the mindset that, wait, I can't see it, but I know there's a gift in it. There's something in it that's going to be good. And that will shift your perspective. That will shift you into responding rather than reacting.
Yeah, even if you get that on autopilot, I think you're repeating like, all right, this is horrible and I don't like it and I'm not experiencing what I want, but somewhere there's something good, it will help give you some ease.
Yeah, it really does.
At least it has for me when we've, you know, I've gone through stuff that's been really challenging.
Absolutely. Yeah, me as well. It was like, you know, I always think, well, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. There's always a reason, right? Yeah. Whatever that is, there's always a gift in there. And even just knowing that comes back to recognizing that the universe is a friendly universe.
Right.
There's something in there for you that's going to help you propel you further on your path, maybe down the line.
Right. Right. Now, you have a gift for us too that I think will help everybody step into play, if I'm correct. Yes. So would you mind sharing that with everybody?
I would love to share that. So because I'm all about the magic and all about those unseen forces, what I am offering your listeners is a way to tap into some of those unseen forces. And I do a lot of oracle card readings. So not tarot. I'm not doing tarot, but I am doing oracle cards. And this is just one deck that I use. It's called the Shaman, a mystical shaman oracle deck.
Okay.
And I may or may not use this deck. I always choose the deck depending on who I'm reading it for, because I have a whole bunch of different decks.
So you have a big box. So I don't know. I'm sure it's expanded to something else.
Yes, they no longer fit in the box that I have. So now they're kind of stacked. But it's just a way to kind of tap into those unseen forces, whether you call them the universe, your guides, angels, whatever that is for you. The card readings will give you confirmation. It might point you in a different direction. And they're just fun to have some kind of like outside influence, right? It's like, what are the spirits saying? It's just a fun way to get some, if nothing else, confirmation for something you may already know.
Yeah, I love doing them.
Yeah, they're so much fun. So everybody that's listening is definitely welcome to book a session with me for that.
Okay.
And it will be available.
Link will be below in the show notes. So
they can just go ahead and book their. Yeah.
And share with everybody how they can connect with you too.
Well, the best way right now is if you go to my website, JacquelynGioertz.com, there's also a gift there, a Manifesting 101 guide that they can download, and then they can contact me through that. Also, we're launching a new membership site called Wildly Magical. Now, the site is wildlymagical.com, and that is basically magic school for the masses. So, if you want to learn more about how to be magical, you want to go to wildlymagical.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So I'm going to put you on the spot, which I do from time to time with my guests.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And you opened with such an amazing quote. Can you share another one to wrap up with?
Yeah. One of my other favorite quotes is, "When sleeping women awake, mountains will move."
I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on. I had so much fun with you. And it's always great to talk about magic and manifesting, law of attraction, and really pulling in everything that you want, particularly in the leadership space, because we're really leading the way for everybody else to think bigger and have, happier, but bigger, more fulfilling, more satisfying lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you're about. I love what you're up to. And thank you for leading the way.
You're welcome. And until next time, everybody, have an amazing day. Have you ever thought about those times when if you had just known that one thing, it would have saved you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, or maybe days, weeks, or even months of your time? I've created the Tribe of Leaders membership community for exactly that reason, to give you the tools, the resources, and the support to make growing your business a snap. As a member, you'll have access to video training, live monthly training and masterminds, and special co-working days that will help you run your business like the CEO that you are. You can get all the details at thetribeofleaders.com. See you there.